All right, guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I am going to do a bunch of the problems from the handout that I gave you, and I'm going to try to do a couple problems at a time so that the video won't be too long and you can find what you need. All right, so I'm going to start with the first problem on page number 1, and so it's number 5. Now, so the question is asking us which relation is a function? Well, um, there are a bunch of ways that you can determine whether something is a function. One of the things that you should be able to do is you should be able to do mapping diagrams. So I'm going to do a mapping diagram for the first choice. Okay, so the x's go in the first oval, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to put the other numbers in the y oval, so it's going to be 3, 1, 7. So if I take arrows, so this is going to be 1 to 3, and then it's going to be 2 to 1, and then it's going to be 3 to 1, and then it's going to be 4 to 7. Now, this is a function because everything in the x only has one arrow coming out. So there's only one arrow, so that means this is a function. So the answer for this one is number 1. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the other ones and show you why they're not functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another mapping diagram for this one. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here. So this is the x, this is the y. So the x would be a -6, a -4, and 7. And then the outputs would be a -2, +2, a 3, and a 5. Now I'm going to map them. A -6 goes over to 2. -4 goes over to or goes to a -2. This one goes to a +2. So far, so good. Then we got 7 goes to a 3. Okay, that's okay. But here's the problem. Now I press the 7 key and I get a 5 out. I can't press 1 key and get 2 outputs. So this one is not right. So this is not a function because it has 2 arrows coming from one input. And it's the same thing for this one. This 6 has 2 arrows going to 5 and 7, so it's not a function. By the way, this 8 doesn't have an arrow at all, so that's another reason it's not a function. So there's 2 reasons it's not a function, but this is not a function. Now, what's wrong with this one, number 3? Well, if you do the vertical line test, you see that the vertical line hits the graph twice. So this is also not a function. So number 1 is the only one that's a function. Now you have to know the vertical line test. You have to be able to make mapping diagrams like this one. And you got to be able to interpret them. So here's a mapping diagram. They gave it to us. You should be able to take all of these choices and make them into mapping diagrams to see if they're functions or not. So this one is done. Now I'm going to do number 6. Number 6 is just a box plot. And a box plot has 5 pieces of information that you need. It has a minimum. It has a maximum, always. And then this is going to be quartile 1. This is quartile 2. This is quartile 3. Another name for the second quartile is the median, which is the middle of the data. But we are looking for the third quartile. So you would just come here to quartile 3, draw your line down. You can see that it's going up by 2, so 34, 36. So this is 36. That's your answer. We're done with this one, check it off. We're done with this one, check it off. Now this is the last one I'm gonna do. We've got this equation. It's 2 plus 3 times the quantity 2a plus 1 equals 3 times the quantity a plus 2. They want us to find a solution. So we are going to graph it. We're going to draw a line down the middle of that equal sign. This side, the left-hand side of the equation, is going to go into f1 of x. So we're going to graph it as a function. And the right-hand side of the equation is going to go into f2 of x. So let's go. Let's go. And okay, so let's go. We got to get the calculator. Let's make this bigger. So we're going to press tab, and now we're going to enter the left-hand side. Now, one more thing that you got to know. When you're graphing functions, you can only graph the letter x. I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. When you're graphing functions, you can only graph the letter x. 1 more time. When you're graphing functions, you can only graph the letter x. So now we're going to go 2 plus 3 and parentheses, and now we're going to replace the a with an x, and then we're going to go plus 1, and we're going to press enter. All right, so that's what this the left-hand side of the equation looks like. It's a straight line. Now we're going to press tab again, and we're going to enter the right-hand side. So it's going to be 3 parentheses x plus 2, press enter, and that's the red. You can see that the intersection is right up here, so I'm going to drag it and bring it down just a little bit. Let me move this out of the way. So the intersection is the answer that we're looking for. We're just going to use menu 64. Menu 64, start on the left, pull it to the right, and here is our answer. The answer is 0.03333. If you click on this, I am going to store this. Oops. Wait a minute. I'm going to store this number in the variable x. So I'm going to store this, press enter. Notice that the number is bolded. So if I go to the regular screen, menu 15, if I type in x, you can see that that's the answer, 0.33333. Now, I can copy this. Now, when you're trying to convert from a decimal to a fraction, how many decimal places does this have? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It has 13 decimal places. I think the magic number is 14. So if I add another 3, and then if I do menu 22 and press enter, it tells me that the answer 0.3333333 is the same thing as 1/3. So if I go to the answers, I would choose option 3. Now, here's another way that you could do it. Instead of converting the answer, the decimal, to a fraction, you can convert the answers into decimals. And the way that you would do that is you would just type in, I'm going to show you, control divide, control divide. I'm going to put a 1 divided by 3. And then if you want to convert it to a decimal, all you have to do is at the end of the number, just put a decimal there. Press enter, and it tells you that 1/3 is equal to 3333333, repeating forever, which is what we have up here. Okay, so you can either take the decimal and convert it into a fraction, or you can take the fraction and convert it into a decimal. So when you get your answers, you know which answer is correct. Okay, that's it. I'm just going to do these 3 questions, and now I'm going to post them. Page 1.